Alright, so normally I would make my videos in the daytime, but I keep meaning to, and so I haven't made this video yet. I wanted to be able to talk about some stuff with MS that I feel like is not something I've heard someone else talk about, and maybe by making this video I can find somebody else who has had these symptoms or things happen to them. So this is not new. I have been diagnosed for 4 years at this point, and this is not a new thing. This is a constant thing that kind of comes and goes. But with the relapse that I had that got me diagnosed, I had something happen with my, with my balance. But I know a lot of people with MS have balance problems, and sometimes I feel woozy and walk with a limp, and I have lots of different kinds of dizziness and balance. But the thing that I find the most, I guess, interesting but also upsetting and has messed with me a whole lot is that there's this feeling that I describe as it being coming from my brain, but like I feel like it's from my head. It's almost like I always describe it as being off. Like I would go to dizziness and balance therapy, and they would say, what's your dizziness on like 1 to 10 or whatever? My answer is always like 0.5 or whatever. I don't feel like I've ever been normal again with my balance. So it's like sometimes the woozy, unsettly, rocky, off feeling, good description. Whenever I feel that, it makes me not be able to walk quite right. Almost like I get this weird little limp. And I wanted to talk about it now because what's interesting is in the last few days I've noticed that it's more noticeable or more like affecting me, and it gives me anxiety, which I've said in my videos before. But ever since that happened with the weird kind of like almost, I guess maybe that could be what people say, I've seen the t-shirts that are like, I'm not drunk, I have MS. So I don't know, do other people know what in the hell I'm talking about? That's what I want to know. It's very hard to describe. I'm doing my best. But another thing that I have had issues with significantly that really just pisses me off is motion sensitivity and motion sickness, but motion sensitivity is how I describe it. Like I don't ever recall before this relapse and this MS shit happening to me, I don't recall ever being like sensitive to things like motion on the TV, motion on the phone, motion in the car. Like when I had the relapse, I had started feeling like I was getting, it was like sick, like motion sick, but also like just overwhelmed, like makes me feel almost like a rush of adrenaline, but like kind of ill from motion. Like when my husband and I are watching TV, and I've just gotten to the point where I just say that I hate stuff. So I hate how they have stuff in the opening or the credits of stuff and like shit spins around, or the camera will spin, or things on the screen go like all that stuff affects me. And part of it is like I need to look down and like feel like I get my bearings, and then I can look back. Or if something's spinning or doing like a circular thing on the TV, you can forget it. I can't watch video games, I can't play video games, which thank God I never really did. But my husband likes to play video games and I can't even really watch him play. It affects me. And it also, if I'm standing, I feel like I have to grab onto something because I feel like I'm like, whoa, So, I mean, when I was a teenager, I remember being on a boat and getting like motion sick on the boat. but it was never like I used to ride in the backseat of cars and stuff like that. And the last few years, no, you can forget about it. I'm sitting in the front seat. I've got to be able to see, or I eat ginger candy every day. Because for one, you know, I think my stomach's a little here and there because of the motion, but also possibly because of Tecfidera. But Tecfidera never really has affected me too much gastrointestinally. But yeah, the ginger, I think, helps me with motion. Now, a few years ago, it was hard for me to drive. I still find that it's hard for me to have a lot of cars move in front of my vision, or a lot, you know, just movement in general. Whether it's causing me anxiety or overstimulation, or a mix of that with motion sensitivity or motion sickness even. I feel like it's all mixed together. And I feel like all this stuff still feels new because it's still in the last few years, but it pisses me off. Like, it just makes me angry, because I feel like even if there is a cure for MS, or if there is something to, you know, help me or us with MS from here, I'm like, well, this shit's already fucked up. Like, this, it feels like it can't be fixed. And it's just frustrating. You know, it's also weird because I find the more I walk, or the more I'm in crowds, you know, my woozy wobbly thing comes out more. It's kind of like a limp wobble. I feel it. It's weird because I know it. I know it's happening, but I can't really stop it. Sometimes I feel like I have to stop and like restart my balance or my walking and then go again. I'm trying to think. I don't want to miss anything, because I've been thinking about this and trying to see if I can find anyone else who knows what the hell I'm talking about. I've tried to describe this and these kind of things to my doctor, and you know, my doctor is very awesome and she's receptive to things that I say, but I don't know that I've ever found anyone else with MS to relate to on these very bizarre, or what I would consider different or weird things. Another thing, while I'm talking about weird symptoms or weird MS things, I have had lots of what I would call vagus nerve spells. I'm doing this a lot. I've had a lot of times where I get like a chain of events. I get like a whoosh of dizziness or off balance. Sometimes it comes on as like a rush of heat, or even anxiety, or heart rate speeds up kind of thing. So that will happen. Usually takes me off guard, whatever I'm doing. And then, you know, my heart rate speeds up and I get anxiety and all that, because I know what's to come. But then I always have to run to the bathroom with either an upset stomach or gotta go to the bathroom. And then sometimes I have to hold the walls. Sometimes I just feel like I have to focus on something because everything kind of feels uneasy or off. Like I need to just be sitting down. And then frequent urination, which is bizarre. So like, I think I counted something crazy, like 5 times I peed in an hour one time after this happened. But it's very defeating. I never know when it's gonna happen, who I'll be with, what I'll be doing. But it's a pretty steady thing. It's pretty frequent. I've been trying to take deep breaths and splash water on my face, and I've looked up the vagus nerve. I went to my regular doctor about it, and she was like, you know, there's not really much you can do. She recommends yoga, which, you know, I do a little bit of yoga, but it's just, I don't like instructed yoga. Like I just want to stretch and do my own thing. So that's another very bizarre thing, and it's hard to know what's correlated with MS with that. Yeah, these are the main things. I really would like to know if and who else deals with any of this, and I'm hoping I didn't forget anything as far as how to describe this. And I'm hoping that you can hear me because I'm in this room with a window unit. So, but I wanted to sit in my cool chair that I got. So yeah, weird MS shit. Me doing this a lot, and I'd love some feedback, or if you know what the hell I'm talking about. If I find people that say they know either the woozy head, wobbly, unsettled, like you're just like your whole center of balance, your whole center of everything is just different. That, the vagus nerve stuff, the motion sensitivity, motion sickness kind of weirdness, I would just like some people to relate to, and I know that this is the place for that. I keep waiting to make this. I'm like, oh, well, I'll put some makeup on, I'll do this, that, or the other. It's not even necessary. I don't really care. But anyway, thanks for listening to me ramble, and I hope to hear from some people in the comments, and